learns a lot. Can we just give all of those people a round of applause? I'm now going to hand over to the Leader of the Council to say a few words to close the conference and then do the raffle. Steve.
Good afternoon. Or is it evening? Everyone hear me? No. How's that? That's how I get it now. Okay, well, can I first of all start by thanking everybody who's organised this conference. It's extremely good to get people into a room to thrash things out, and that's what today has been all about. I want to explain that my role as Leader of the Council is very clear here. We are taking a huge risk politically in doing this enterprise. So the question is, why would we take a political risk in a highly political borough on an issue like council housing? And I think I can best answer that by explaining to you that I have just come from West Kensington and Gibbs Green, where I've been doing some work for the residents there. But just to give you some context, if you are a leaseholder, who's a leaseholder here? Okay, welcome, very nice to see you. Leaseholders on the West Kensington and Gibbs Green estates have got a situation where the council is legally obliged to compulsory purchase their flats at what they define as market rate plus 10%, which under the law is the minimum you're given. And that means that even though you may not want to sell your flat if you live in the West Kent or Gibbs Green, it will be forcibly bought from you at a rate defined by an outside source. The leaseholders will be offered the chance to buy a new flat in this new development. But the new development, they will get 10% discount on the new properties. Now here's the problem. The new properties might be 2 million, and your leaseholder flat might be forcibly sold and bought from you to 600,000. So there's a gap. So what you have is leaseholders unable to stay in London, not even Hammersmith and Fulham. That's wrong. It's wrong, and we're not going to let that happen, and we're campaigning to change that. Same with freeholders, people who live on that estate but own the land their home is on and own their home. The council is legally obliged to buy their home. And those people, I've had them in my surgery, in tears, distraught at a lifetime of hard work, where they thought they had a home they felt safe in, it is being compulsory purchased from them. That's the illegal agreement we inherited, and that's what we're trying to stop. If you are a private tenant, and there's a lot of people who live on council houses these days who are private tenants, that might be somebody who lives in someone who bought their own council flat. They live in that flat. I know families who've lived in situations like that for maybe 10 years. So they live in the neighbourhood, they go to local shops, the kids go to local schools, the local pubs, the local churches, the local mosque. You've got friends and family in your neighbourhood. Those people get nothing under the deal that's being done on the West Kensington and Gibbs Green. They will go on the homeless list, and then we, at a time when there is shrinking quantities of housing, will have to try and find them a new home. So, in terms of what we inherited of the West Kensington and Gibbs Green estates, in terms of what your neighbours, only a mile and a half down the road, are facing, they are facing that situation. And one of the advantages of being the leader of the council is I get to see every single piece of documentation. I get to see for real what's happening with our health services, what's happening with our housing, what's happening on everything. In my first few weeks in office, I met a developer who owned the freehold for Ashcroft Square. Anyone here from Ashcroft Square? Oh, there we are. Okay, well, they came to show me plans of what King Street will look like once Ashcroft Square is demolished. And then when I said, we're not in the business of demolishing people's homes, where are you going to house these people? They said, oh, we'll put them somewhere. We'll put them somewhere. I was like, okay, where? They didn't have a plan. What they wanted was to build luxury homes that sell off plan to overseas investors, and there was not a plan where the tenants and leaseholders would live. I was approached by another developer who showed me a plan for a complete remodelling of the Cllr estate. Anyone here from the Cllr estate? Hello. So they showed me I didn't recognise it at first, because they showed me a plan as a paper map. And I went, that looks nice, where is it? And they were like, that's the Cllr estate. And I was like, I don't think it looks like that. And they said, but it will do if you say yes, and this is the plan we have been talking about to your colleagues, i.e. the people who previously ran the council. And I said, I think you're confusing us with the other guys. We're here to defend people's housing, not knock it down. Same with Lytton Estate, same with White City Estate, same with Batman Close, same with a third of all council estates. And meanwhile, if you live in a street property, they were being sold off every time someone died or left. Not given under the normal letting scheme to residents who needed social housing, council housing, but sold often at discounted prices, sometimes at auctions for a period of time. So what you saw was the amount of council housing reducing. Now, I genuinely like being an elected representative. I think the most humbling moment of my life was getting elected as a leader of this council. Humbling moment. Because I realised 22,163 people had put a cross in the box at a time when politicians aren't held in particularly high regard, in the hope that we might be different and do things that was on the side of the residents who had just hired us to be their representatives. The very first thing we decided to do on housing, we immediately stopped the sale of street properties in our first day. The first thing we did, the second thing we did was stay selling in school. That was 4 days later. But the first thing we did was stop the sale of council housing. That's the first thing we did. And the second thing we did was to say that this is a politically contentious borough. We may not always be here. Power is a temporary thing, given in a democracy to people for temporary moments. So how do we make sure, as custodians, that everything that you have asked us to be in charge of, that our council housing, this sacred thing created by former generations, is safe? And it strikes me the easiest way to make it safe is to give it to the people who live in it, to give the land to the people who live in it. So we've tried, that's what we're looking to do. And if anyone wants certainty, let me tell you this. It's an enterprise. We are on a mission. We are trying to get this done because it's the right thing to do for you. It could hurt us. You know, we've already heard criticisms from our political opponents who say we're privatising estates. On the other side of the mouth, they're also taking hospitality from the same developers who were looking to knock down your estates. So we're going to get into a fight on that type of issue. We have other people attacking us, saying we're privatising it. I just tell you we're not. Why would we want to take such a risk if it wasn't for the fact that we think your home is at risk? Now I think, I'm sorry to be politically, I think we're going to be around for a while. But you know what? I wouldn't bet my house on it. So why would I bet yours? Why? So this is a mission. It's an enterprise. We are setting out in unison with you to try and do something special here, to create a new type of housing model that protects leaseholders, protects tenants, protects freeholders if you should live in such a thing on a council estate, and never lets anything that's currently happening to those good women and men on the West Kensington and Gibbs estates. That's what this is about. That's why we're investing in this. That's why we are doing things with you, not to you, because at the end of the day, you're our boss, and we have the ultimate respect for you. So I'm not going to say we're going to get everything right on this journey, but I think that's the objective, and let's set out on it, and let's make this work. No matter who gets in our way, or obstacles we fight, I want to take a Churchillian spirit, and I think we can win this war sooner or later, if you have the right type of approach. So that's what we're doing, and I am grateful for you giving me the opportunity to share that with you. Thank you very much.